Alright, got Kane here, all the way from WA. We've got 5 days in the Vic High Country to chase down a big Sambar stag for him. Now, if you're a past client or someone that hunts in here, you might recognise this anthill. So you'll realise that we're at the bottom of Heartbreak Hill, which for new clients seems incredibly steep and never ending. But before you know it, you're at the top of the hill. How's that for a vista? Beautiful. Welcome to my office. Righto, we got into camp pretty quick, which was good, and all set up now, and had lunch and a bit of a kickback and a bit of a chat. Anyway, it's pretty early in the afternoon still, but we're going to go down and have a good glassing session for the afternoon and see if we can get back onto those deer that we saw in here last trip and didn't capitalise on the opportunities that we had. So wish us luck. We'll see if we can find these big boys again. Right, I've been down here for a couple of hours already. I've only spotted that one small stag, which I'll have some shitty footage of in the shadows of a tree. I just caught him moving his beds. So quite often this time of year it's cooler in the morning, so they look for a bit of sun, and then later in the day they're looking for shade. So I dare say he got caught in a bit of sun because it's quite warm. But yeah, so I just caught him sort of moving his beds, and he's bedded down again there. He only looks 10 or 12 inches, only very, very small, but anyway, it's encouraging to see a deer. As you can see, I'm running the binos on this tripod. I've been sort of trying it out for the last couple of hunts, and I kind of enjoy how steady they are when you're really trying to pick apart a face to look for that ear flicker or that tail swish. You've got to be rock steady to see those little definitions of deer, and this method of glassing definitely does that for you.
Oh, I see cast, or is that big mouthful? That's a big stag. There's a malform. Right along here. Here's 2 mil to add to that mob of 5, so that's 7.
Yeah, righto. We've probably seen a dozen deer, mostly stags, believe it or not. Nothing of any real interest. One real nice 20-inch sort of model. Yeah, a lot of little stuff and that big malform. But yeah, I have to apologise for the footage. My big camera's gone flat. Mustn't have charged properly at home, and spare battery's dead too. I think Kane's got the right charging cable for me, so I'm going to give it a go tonight, charging the camera battery off my battery bank. But I don't have my big battery bank, so I don't know if I have enough oomph to charge up that lithium battery, but we'll give it a go. Hopefully I can get one battery up and going for the rest of the trip, otherwise it's going to be some pretty rough footage through the binos. First morning, luckily Kane had the right cable to get the big camera charged up, so we're good to go again. Get down to start glassing. Kane spotted one straight up, and then he moved around the corner to glass so we can sort of double team glassing wise, spread out different angles, different parts of the country we can look at. And I spotted another 3, definitely a stag. Get the camera out. Oh, what? Didn't have it on me. So I've had to run all the way back to camp. So to go back and get eyes on this stag. Don't know if it's a big one or not. I think it's the 20-incher from last night. But oh yeah, he's one of the ones I was watching last week. He was running with a spiky, so yeah, he's similar to the one we just filmed. Maybe a little bit better, but not really. Saw this fly getting set up yesterday afternoon, so he's obviously in for the week, I'd say. About the same size again, that top one. Right in around that 18 to 20 inch mark last night. He was getting all upset about him being there.
He's going to be upset because he can't do anything about it.
Yeah, well, yeah. His antlers aren't very...
It's still going to be fun to have him run through you.
Yeah. These deer are up on a real shaded face, but I've been looking at it and it's as green as, so the feed's there. These last 2 hinds that I've videoed are on the same face, but probably 500 metres apart. So you've got to ask yourself how many other deer are up on there. I've been glassing deer up left, right and centre. And I just wanted to say, yesterday afternoon we saw a dozen deer, nothing of any real interest. I would have been interested in that malform, but Kane's after a representative of the species, so we sort of want a mature 6-point. Anyway, it would have been real easy this morning to get up and sort of charge in there, because we were sort of seeing these deer at sort of 1,200, 1,000 metres. But I made the decision just to come back and glass again because the deer were so active yesterday afternoon. I thought there was a pretty good chance of them being real active again this morning and potentially seeing that deer that we wanted. Anyway, so I think we're up around 16 or 18 deer this morning, so clearly we've seen more deer than yesterday that we might not have seen if we had raced in and sort of tried to get closer to that other bunch of deer. But yeah, tip of the day is don't be in a big rush. If you can sit back and watch deer undisturbed from a distance, and the deer that you're observing aren't the deer that you want, just keep observing those deer. Time is your friend, and usually, eventually, maybe not on this trip, but if you can keep observing those deer from a distance, the deer that you're after will be with them. Because deer attract each other, obviously. There's a hot hind over there, that big malform. He was defending her last night. I couldn't get it on camera because my big camera was dead, but because he's got these little lay-back antlers that aren't very, useful for fighting, he was using his body size, jacking up his front end, and he was charging at these younger deer and then hopping like boom, 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 to try and bluff them, I reckon, with his body size and being aggressive to sort of push them off. But he was on her ass. So just because he's not the deer we're interested in, it only takes that stag to roll around the corner, smell that hind, and then he will be on that hind, because antler size matters when it comes to holding hinds. So yeah, tip of the day is don't be in a rush. If you can observe your deer from a distance, keep observing them, and eventually you'll see what you want to see. Righto, most of the deer we've been watching have moved into the bush, so we've decided we need some camp water and we need to catch sludge. So we're going to go and have a fish, grab some water, and wait for the afternoon. Basically, this time of year, there's a lot of hours in the middle part of the day that are pretty unproductive. So, and we got 3 big groups of deer that we got eyes on yesterday afternoon and this morning. So there's no point going in and disturbing them. We'll just keep watching them. So we're just going to go a little bit downstream from where they are, so we don't scent up the area at all. Yeah, let's see if we can catch a trout. Had 2 follow me in. One had a good bump on it. It's a bloody platypus. Huh, that's cool. I'll get the camera on it for you. Yeah, we're having no luck on the fish. A couple of follows and a couple of bumps at the start there, but anyway, that's fishing. Saw a bunch of deer, which was kind of cool this morning. But yeah, how cool is that platypus? I'm pretty sure I captured some footage of him going under the water, and you could actually just make out his shape under the water there. See him sort of cruising around looking for crustaceans, I suppose, and worms and whatnot. So that's a pretty cool experience. And yeah, Kane got to get a bit of that on his phone as well. So anyway, just another thing that hunters and fishermen that get into these wilderness areas get to experience is things like that. And realistically, we're probably 95% of the bush users in this area. So as bush users, we've got eyes on us, especially the hunters. So do the right thing, keep your camps clean and don't leave any rubbish behind, and make sure your fires are snuffed out. Like, the last thing we need is a bushfire started by a hunter.
in some wilderness areas like this. And yeah, just go out and enjoy it so that the next people that come along behind you basically see your footprints and that's it. So anyway, try to do the right thing is what I'm saying. Do the right thing by everyone else, and we should be able to continue to enjoy using this wilderness national park areas for years and years to come. I can't wait to bring my young fellas in here and have them running around chasing trout and hopefully shooting the odd deer. So I want to keep it going. So let's, as a hunting community, do the right thing and yeah, just enjoy the bush.
I'm going to go long bomb over into there. Oh, not where I wanted it to go. I'll have another go. That's better. Come on. Can't catch one on film to save himself. Yeah, up there, buddy. Oh. Thought he was sick. I think he was just cold. Hasn't been out in the sun much today. So had a couple of flies, a couple of bumps. Can't catch a fish yet, but got a good little section here, so we'll try again. Doing a bit of thinking.
I'm going to have to go in for this one.
You didn't go.
Bit of water around.
Yeah. Anyway, I got so good at jumping rocks because when I was a kid, Dad used to take me fishing, and he'd have waders on, and it'd be middle of winter, back when there was no trout season. And being a kid, there's no waders that fit you, so I had to just either get wet or be really good at going from rock to rock. So since about, I don't know how young, 6 or 7, I've been doing this. Now my eyes just see which rocks to stand on, which ones not to. So even though there's no water here, my brain doesn't even have to think. Well, there we go. Ooh, slippery. So we can't push off this one much, we've got to step. Got to say it helps when you got long legs. Oh, he's done it. yeah, well, we didn't do any good catching fish, but so we just had lunch down next to the river in a nice shady spot in the breeze. And we've just punched up the hill back up to the glassing spot, and we'll eventually go back to camp, have a siesta. It's only about midday, a bit after, and it is hot. Cicadas are out singing, and there's not a bloody cloud in the sky apart from at the back there. It is warm, man, real warm. So I reckon these deer will move pretty late in the day, I think. Anyway, we know where to look, so we're going to concentrate on these 3 different groups of deer we've got. Try and pick a mature deer from one of those groups. Hopefully the hinds that are with them and draw out a stag out of the shadows. They'll be in the shadows today. So another tip of the day is with temperature with sambar deer. I don't look at the temperature and go, oh, at this temperature a deer's going to be in the shade, or in this temperature the deer's going to be in the sun. It's like, if you're looking for sun, they're looking for sun. If you're looking for shade, they're looking for shade. So it doesn't really matter what the temperature is. How you feel, where you feel the most comfortable, is where they will be. And another myth I'll bust for you is, so wintertime people talk about north facing, to catch the sun. Yep, true. I find just as many deer in the hotter parts of the month on the north face as well. And I'll tell you why. There's plenty of shade there. All they do is shift when the shade moves on them. They end up in the sun. They just move their bed. So I've got spots in here that it's full north facing, and it just gets roasted with sun. But those deer, come evening, just pop out of there, and they just stay in the shade. As simple as that. I think they prefer breeze more than being on a certain aspect of the land, you know what I mean? So don't think that you're not going to see any deer on the north face when it's hot. You probably will if it's their normal bedding areas. I don't think they really shift from summer to winter too much in particular spots. They definitely chase the shade though. So this time of year it was quite cold this morning. They could have been looking for a little bit of sun, and then come the switch when it turns warm, then they'll switch beds. So it's a good time to catch a deer up on its feet in the middle part of the day. So when they're switching those beds, usually starts in October, and it's like late October now, where you get that weather that's cool in the mornings and then hot during the day, and you get that big switch in temperature. Well, the deer switch their beds as soon as that temperature changes. Anyway, bit of a tip for you. Rightio, just when you think you got a plan sorted, someone throws a spanner in the works. So 2 of the groups of deer that we were sort of going to concentrate on this evening have now got company in the form of a hunter with a bright yellow fly and a hammock right in there. Anyway, he's not to know. So we're going to change where we're sitting, cut through a gully, get up on another ridge, because I reckon he is going to push deer around. So we're going to use him as a bit of a flusher for us, and I reckon deer might come out over here, or they might not come out at all. But anyway, we've only really got one chance because it seems like he's moving in, and it's a Tuesday, so he's obviously here for the week, I'm guessing, because he's working his way down the hill. Yeah, so we'll concentrate on this group of deer because we're only going to get this one chance at it this evening before he ruins it completely, and then we're going to concentrate on this other group of deer at the very last light, which he shouldn't be able to see from there. And then tomorrow we'll just nick on downstream, I think.
we saw a hide and a yearling back over here, sort of in a spot where we can't do much about it, even if a stag does pop up. So we've sort of cut our losses up there, and we're concentrating on this spot here, which is not far from my mate's camp. So we've really only got this afternoon to have a crack at this spot, and then he's going to blow it out. So hopefully they come down and feed in this clearing here this evening, and we can nail it. We're only about 250, 260 metres, so we don't have to move to shoot. Alright, this is one of the groups of deer that we might have a chance on this evening, even though old mate's only camped about 300 yards away. Just saw him in his camp, so he hasn't moved from his camp yet, which he really doesn't need to move at all from where he is. Yeah, no, little fella. 3-year-old. Righto, Wednesday morning, we're down here, crack of daylight. It's really hard to glass, but it's just going to get easier and easier, so we're on it. Now we've split up again just to double our efforts on different faces. Yeah, Kane has no trouble spotting deer. I reckon he's spotted more deer than me this trip, which is kind of a welcome change. There he's running a pair of EL rangefinder Swaros 10x42s, so really good quality glass, makes a big difference. So we're just back down glassing these spots that that we had those deer on over the last day and a half or so, because it's our like yesterday afternoon we got onto those two young stags, and they had a hind with her. They had a hind with them. But we also saw, as we were walking out right on dark, we spotted the two mature hinds that were with that group in the morning. So they sort of scented us and took off. They didn't have anything else with them. So anyway, so this morning's really our last chance to catch anything in that sort of area before it gets scented up by old mate camp down in there. So zebra's tip of the day, and I'm guessing this guy doesn't know this area. Don't camp with the deer. It ruins the hunting. Try to camp back away from them, far enough away that you're not, your scent and your campfire smoke and all the rest of it isn't really going to affect them in their daily routine, but close enough that you can sort of be in striking distance so that you can be there at the right times of the day. So trying to find that happy medium. So depending on how willing you are to do walking in the headlamp in the dark. I know people that just don't like walking in the dark in the bush. They like to be back in camp with a campfire. I regularly walk an hour, 45 minutes in the headlamp to get to and from camp, to be in the areas I want to hunt at the right time of the day. First few minutes of the morning, and obviously that last hour of the evening are dynamite for spotting deer in the open, in their feeding areas. Anyway, it's probably light enough to keep glassing, so I better get busy.
Two spikers. He's a little bit bigger, that one, isn't he? Bigger body.
Yeah, righto, the sun's just popped over the ridge. Super hard to glass into it now because of the glare. Oh, yeah, we spotted 2 hinds and those 2 spikers, but didn't get the camera on one of the hinds that Kane spotted. But basically the areas that we've been seeing deer is just dead. There's not a single deer there, and that's because old mates camped in right in amongst them. So we were going to make the call, and we're going to pack up camp. I've got my fly with me so we can be mobile, and Kane's got that little fly with him as well, so we're going to move a few k's downstream and get away from old mate, try and get onto some deer that I saw late evening with the last client a week ago, so hopefully they haven't been disturbed and they're in a similar spot. Yeah, anyway, that's public land hunting. It's free for everyone to use, and good on him. He's having a crack where he's come down. I don't envy his walk out. If he's going to walk back up the way he came in, phew, he's going to be sore when he gets back to his car. But anyway, hopefully he's got onto a few deer. Yeah, but so that's what we're going to do. We're pretty much finished glassing here because the glare didn't spot anything close by that we could have a crack at. So go back, slowly pack up camp and move downstream middle part of the day and find a good camping spot and get ready for a big glassing session this afternoon and try and pick up some new deer. Oh, Pesky paid me a visit last night and scared him up the tree. I don't know if you can see that, but it didn't rain last night. Dirty little bastard pissed all over me tent. Righto, we got camp all packed up and we're going to move. Let's see if we can find some deer somewhere else. What are we going to do about that? Threw his pack down and his salters just grabbed him in the knee. So it's in the skin too.
Digging time. Seems to be enough though.
Yeah, well I'm not the one feeling it, so. Alright, there we go.
I always do my own surgeries.
Anyway, we got it out. Well, Kane got it out. I just spectated. It's hot. Bit hard on the old picnic. I've been just in camp here for what seems like forever. We only got here about 10:30, about 4 o'clock. Been roasting hot. We've been playing chasey with the shade. It was ridiculously hot, even sitting underneath the tarp. So you had to sort of follow the shade of the tree to get out of it. But anyway, it's been a long day and we're about to get
get going. We're going to punch up the hill here and glass across the river and see what we can find for tomorrow.
Heading up this hill for the evening and glass out across the river. Oh, it's hot though. So Kane's got a pair of those Swaro EL rangefinder binoculars, and it said it was 34 degrees at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Hot. I think that's a little spiker.
Yeah, okay.
I think. Right. That stag just ripped that bit of bark off that tree and had a nibble on it. That one's only a little thing. One that's obvious. There was one that was a lot darker than the other. That felt. That one we're looking at's. Take your head around, mate. He's about 12 incher. Don't know where the other one went. Yeah, they were pushing around pretty heavy when I saw them initially. Yeah, well, when I first saw him, I thought, oh, he's big and dark. He might be a mature deer, but compared to the other one, he's black almost, isn't he? He's only the same size. Bugger. I thought,
Long episode this one, mate. We've got a lot of deer.
yeah. I won't waste too much time watching these because we're losing light real quick. I want to see something we can shoot. It seems to be low to the river, doesn't it?
Yeah, and we're heading down too.
Come for a drink.
Now, why they're all heading down the river doing good.
Maybe they're thirst.
I was going to say because you said on hot days you haven't seen you go to the river.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe that's just where the better feed is. It's not like they've raced to the river.
I'm sure they're just doing it slightly, mate.
I actually think the darker one's smaller. I haven't really seen him lift his head up yet. It's a young stag, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Just a spiker. 2 spikers and a young hind, I think.
Righto, we're just about to pack it up. I think we saw 2 hinds, 2 spikes and 2 young stags, maybe a 3rd hind, but never really saw it at the same time. But yeah, all the deer are a little bit lower than I was expecting them to be. Anyway, we'll have a think about it tonight and see what the plan is for the morning. Righto, we've hiked up in the pre-dawn to our spot we were glassing from yesterday afternoon. Hopefully we've got some deer movement coming up through these big clear patches. And we can make first spot something that we want to go after and make a good plan on how we're going to get him, because it's about 800, 900 metres across, so definitely outside of ethical shooting ranges. So we'll see if we can spot one first. If not, we're going to go over the back here, have a hunt in there for the day. He might be one of those stags we saw playing last night, I think. Yeah, it's a little knobby. Hasn't even got antlers yet, but has to be a mature stag here somewhere, or all the mature stags are holding hands somewhere. Some bloody...
2024, mate.
It is, isn't it? All wearing their tough jackets, exactly.
For the record, anyone that wears a tough jacket lives in the middle of nowhere.
All these stags have got a grey tinge to them, don't they?
Yeah.
So obviously, what is that? A grey wallow.
Yeah, a big 30-inch grey stag.
But also the wallows grey that they're all using, because they're not naturally that colour. 1100, eh? But if there's a hind up that high, there's nothing to say that's where all the stags are. Up high, hiding. The feed's, all of a sudden the feed's up there now. These things don't drink bugger all water. You know, they don't have to be down in this low stuff if they don't want to be. Alright, earlier in the year I talked about maybe offering drop hunts in 2025. So I've had a lot of inquiries recently about that. So yes, I am going to offer them in 2025. So jump over to my website, www.zebrashunting.com. You'll see a menu there for drop hunts. Click on it. It'll give you all the details, prices, etc. Now, if it all looks good to you, make sure you jump on the contact form, fill it out, send it off to me, and I'll get in contact with you as quick as I can, and we'll make you a booking for you. So it's going to be ideal for anyone travelling from interstate to Victoria, you know, for their once a year Sambar hunt, but they don't have an area that is productive, or they don't have time to scout. You know, with all the aerial culling and hound hunting and all those sorts of things that sort of do tend to ruin a trip if it's happened just prior to you arriving. I can help you avoid all those things, get you into some productive country where there's plenty of deer and it's good country, so you're not wasting your time bashing through stuff for days on end to find out at the end of your hunt that it was a shitty area to hunt anyway. So anyway, jump on the website, click on drop hunts, have a read, see if that suits you. If it does, jump in the contact forms and contact me for a booking. Now there is a limited availability for a couple of guided hunts next year as well. Most of them are already booked out from people that missed out this year. But so if you are interested in coming on a guided hunt with me next year, better not delay. There's only a few spots left. Jump on the website, contact me through that contact form, and I'll give you a call and we'll make a booking for you. Anyway, I better get back to looking for a deer.
It's part of that original group we saw this morning. Sort of got up to that level and then they contoured around to these beds here. If only he was a big stag, we'd have a fair crack at getting him. Anyway, we got deer up real high. They've all been probably mid-height and above today, whereas yesterday evening they were mid-height or lower. So today we've got a different weather pattern to the last few days. So we've got really low hanging cloud sort of blocking the hills at about that 1300 metre mark. Real overcast, nice and cool. Whereas every other morning it's just been full blazing sun by this time of the day. Which is 8 o'clock. But this time of year you don't get a lot of movement for very long before they bed up. And the reason for that is, some people have sort of suggested that deer move more because the nights are shorter, because they've got to feed in the daylight. Well, my theory is this time of year the feed has all the nutrients in it because it's got that spring growth, that they get a gut full of good food really quickly, and therefore they don't need to feed as long as like they do in winter time when the feed doesn't have the nutrients in it. So I tend to find deer feeding for much longer in winter than I do this time of year, purely because of the nutrients in their food that they're grazing on, browsing on. So the deer tend to sit down real quick this time of year. But the good thing is usually they move beds a couple of times because of the temperature changes you get at this time of the year, which is late October into early November. Cool mornings, they sort of tend to bed up somewhere where they can be comfortable, maybe get a little bit of morning sun, but then by 11, 12 o'clock it's pretty warm and they're like, no, I need shade now, so they'll get up and move. That's your opportunity to take a shot if you've got one pinned down bedded. Don't really recommend shooting them bedded down. It's a real good way to stuff it up. But if you're there, if you've got a deer pinned down and in range early in the morning, be patient, as it will stand up. And they usually, have a big stretch and do a wee or a poo or something. So they're not going to run off on you if you're all dialed up, ready to go. You can get a really good solid shot on them standing up rather than sitting down with their organs all in a funny position. unless you're close enough to take a neck shot or a spine shot and really just drop them dead in their bed, yeah, I suggest you let them stand up.
Deer look like they've all bedded down now. It's 8 o'clock. But we're just going to try our luck with a bit of a slow bush stalk through some of this country, and get into some other country that we haven't glassed yet for the afternoon. And yeah, see if we can turn something up on the last day, pretty much. Tomorrow we normally just walk out, so yeah. But yeah, plenty of deer, just nothing worth going after. So we'll go and see if we can find some new country with some new deer in it. And surely to God we can find something with a bit of age on it. Because we've seen all the young ones. Surely there can't be any more. Hasn't been dead long either, really.
No gators. Got to put one foot in again. What happened?
Got enough water for the day, have you?
Yeah, plenty. I even threw a little 1 litre in there for cooking.
Did you?
I thought it was going to be hot like it was this, so
Yeah.
we go for a walk.
Yeah. Well, the sun could easily pop out.
Yeah.
I don't think this cloud's going to stay here all day. Pretty hard with the leaf litter being so dry.
Pine, do you think?
Sounds like a hind. Hasn't taken off yet. She's waiting for us. sun's out now, so they're looking for shade. We've bumped a couple of deer along the way, but just spotted a bedded hind. But she's in a real sort of a tight spot where there could be a bunch of deer with her. And we won't see them. We'll have to just really slowly change positions. She's only 150 metres. So we might have to do a bit of a slow push. Try and pop them up without making them tear off. We've been sitting here watching that young lion for probably 15 minutes. Took me 10 minutes to spot the big hind to the left of her and slightly above her. And this Spikey's just stood up out of a bed, feeding his way up to her. Got to be patient sometimes. All the time. Looks like he's in velvet. We moved angles on those deer and couldn't find any others, so I gave a whistle on the flex mark and they all stood up and trotted out. So I didn't like the sound of it, but it was a good way to get, if there was any other deer with them, to get them up on their feet. We didn't see any, which I assume there's going to be some big hinds here somewhere. They're only young females. Anyway, we're going to cut through this gully, do the same thing in the next one. We've just jumped over a ridge or two, looking for somewhere to sit for lunch where we've got a view, so this is looking pretty spectacular. Alright, I found a good spot for lunch. Don't tell my wife, she thinks I'm at work.
This is the best one we've seen so far, but he might be maybe 20 inches.
Camera's going to go flat again. You got it on now?
Yeah.
With the cable?
Yeah, mate.
You're all organised, aren't you? Fucked without you on this trip.
Still got a camera. Don't go up, you bastard. He might turn around and sit down again. Yep.
Well, we're just having a siesta here in the shade. Kane spotted this stag cruising across the clearing over there. Got a little bit of footage of him. These flies are sticky. Then my camera went flat again, but we've watched him bed down, so we're just going to keep an eye on him. Eventually get the camera charged and have a better look at him. Don't think he's real big. Yeah, you see these flies? Right, we're just going to move in on that stag. If he makes it real easy for us, he's going to pay the price. I'll try and get him to look at us so I can judge him a bit better. Just coming down this ridge, we're at 480 metres from this stag, and we put up a deer that's honked at us. Just one loud honk, one quiet one loud one. So we're just going to sit and just let things calm down. We sort of want to get at least another 150 metres. We've got plenty of time, it's just after 4 o'clock, so we've got 4 hours of daylight. And I'm hoping that he's going to feed down, and that'll just make it a chip shot. We'll be right. But there's every chance the bastard will feed up. It's a nice gully he's in, so we'll just have to wait and see. Now we can go down. I just heard me talking. Well, I'm hoping for some good karma because we got into 480 on that stag. When I put the big camera on him, I went, oh, he's just not big enough and he's got so much potential. So I let the client down as easy as I could and just said we can't shoot him. And anyway, the stag's done me a favour and he's fed back up the gully, so he's out of distance anyway. But yeah, we sort of really want to let a deer like that go because he had every potential to be a screamer when he's older. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, for a little bit of good karma and a mature stag. He's going to step out for us. We've had a deer honking at us just below, but we're going to glass this until about the last hour of light. And then we're going to use the last hour to just slowly bush stalk along, just to cover a lot more country on the way back to camp. We haven't been able to glass any of this really from where we've been glassing, so this is all new country. Hopefully, the big boss up in the sky, dear God, is going to shine down on us.
Pretty sure that looks like a hind's arse head, not a stag, but oh, you can see it here. Look at the ear shadow on there. Can't see a big antler shadow. Bugger. That's cool. Hopefully there's a big stag with her.
Yeah, look, we spotted 4 hinds coming across that face where we had that stag earlier. Nothing mature with them though. And we just spotted a deer across the river. So we're going to use the last hour of light to jump through the gullies 2 kilometres back to camp. So should give us enough time to stalk through it nice and quiet. See if we can get onto something.
You'll be bringing gators next time. There's a couple of big steps here. He's the same height as me though. So. We may as well walk across now. Is that cold?
Not too bad.
Well, you've got half your wash done already.
Yeah, bottom half I did it already.
Yeah, righto, so we did that slow walk back through some bloody sensational country, but it was a bit dry, a bit crackly. But I felt like we did a good job. Only put up one deer, got honked at a couple of times by it, and that was it. Sort of just got a glimpse of it, that was it. I did spot that young stag right across the river just as we sort of took off. Yeah, once again, just another immature deer, stag. Nothing that we're interested in. Yeah, anyway, got back to camp here, and I've just gone down to the creek and grabbed some water and give myself a bush bath, and I feel $1 million. I slept pretty good last night till about 2 o'clock, and then I was that sticky and sweaty. I was going to have a bush bath last night, but I got bloody lazy. Anyway, I braved it and had one this evening, and now I feel very, very clean and ready for a good sleep. But we're going to get up early in the morning and jump back up on the hill and sort of do a bit of an hour or so glassing session from first light before we walk out, and just hopefully something pops out nice and close and we can go over and smack it. Anyway, let's have some tea, and then I'm going to climb into my sleeping bag.
First deer for the morning. What would you know, another young stag. It's a little stag. Like a little baby one.
Just another one, eh?
Just another one. They're literally running.
Yeah, well, we just had the last chance glassing session, but we only turned up, what, two young stags, a spiky, and 3 or 4 hinds. Yeah, still nothing mature walking on the hill today. Anyway, it's actually clouded over nicely. It's quite chilly, so we're going to go out the back and pack up camp. Start the big march out of here. Hopefully it stays cloudy like this and doesn't come out sunny and roast us. Righto, all loaded up. Clean campsite. No rubbish. We didn't have a fire, so we didn't have to snuff out any fire, but you know, onwards and upwards. See you back at the vehicle. That's a wallow. If you can, jump over to Patreon and support the channel. It'd be much appreciated. Anyway, we're about to sit down and relax and get this weight off our backs. I hope you enjoy it.